Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today we are taking a closer look at an app,
Yeah, an Android app.
right? An Android app. This one is it's like opening a toolbox,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just packed with all these incredible tools for working with high-frequency electronics.
Yeah.
So, we're talking over 120 calculators and converters. Uh,
It's a lot.
it is a lot, and they're all geared towards this world of high-frequency electronics, which is, as you know, it's incredibly important these days for so many different things.
Absolutely. It's everywhere.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, it's everything from your,
yeah.
smartphone to the satellites, beaming down your GPS signal, radar systems, all sorts of.
And even, looking way out there into the universe, radio astronomy,
Right.
all of that relies on these high-frequency signals.
It's amazing how diverse the field is. I mean, you look at who this app is targeted towards, and you've got microwave designers, you've got RF professionals, EMC technicians, radio amateurs, students,
Astronomers even.
astronomers. Yeah, it's
Oh.
really impressive.
Yep. The breadth of this field.
And so, what we're going to do today is kind of dig into this app, really explore what it can do, and kind of give you a sense of why this is such a powerful tool for anyone working with high frequency electronics.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that really jumps out at me is the ability to actually build networks within this app
Oh yeah,
of RF components.
yeah.
So you can connect filters, transmission lines, matching networks. You've got attenuators, even Doherty amplifiers, all virtually.
So you're essentially like building circuit
The building circuit.
in the
All
app.
that. Yeah.
And that is, for someone learning about electronics, like I remember when I was first starting out,
Oh, yeah.
just trying to understand okay, what does a filter do? And how does it interact with this other component?
Right.
I mean, having something like this where you can actually visualize it and play around with it and see how the signals change,
Yeah.
that would be incredible.
I mean, even for seasoned professionals, it's useful to be able to test things out.
Yeah. Before you actually commit to building something in the real world.
Right. And then once you've kind of got your design,
Mhm.
even then it's not just, okay, I've connected these things together.
Right.
You've got to be able to, really fine tune it, make sure that it's performing optimally, and they've
Right.
got all these converters built in.
That's right. Yeah, like power and voltage conversions, noise temperature. You've got VSWR, return loss, all these critical parameters you need to be aware of.
Yeah, it's almost like, tuning a musical instrument where you have to kind of,
You got it.
adjust each thing just right to get the desired sound.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great analogy. And thinking about fine-tuning, that leads us to another, interesting set of tools in here for working with couplers and splitters and transformers.
Uh-huh.
And those are really critical components for, controlling how signals are distributed within a circuit.
Yeah, so, a coupler, for instance, you might use that to split a signal so it
Yeah.
could go to multiple places. A transformer might be used to, to match the impedance between different components.
Exactly right. And, I see here it even gets into Kuroda's identities.
Yeah, that one sounds kind of intimidating.
Yeah, Kuroda's identities for filter network synthesis.
So can you break that down for us?
Sure. Yeah. So filters are, they're really essential in electronics because they allow us to select specific frequencies
Right.
and reject all the unwanted ones. So imagine you're designing a radio receiver.
Right.
You want to be able to pick up your, favorite radio station,
Right.
but you got to filter out all the noise.
All the other stations?
Yeah, all the other stations. And that's where these filter designs come in.
Yeah.
And Kuroda's identities, they give us this really neat mathematical framework
Okay.
for designing those filters, and this app helps you apply that.
Wow. So it's really taking some of these very abstract concepts and making them much more practical and usable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making it accessible to a wider audience.
And they've done a great job of making the app itself user-friendly.
Yeah, I mean, you've got icons, a really easy search function, so you don't have to be, a total expert to find your way around.
Yeah, and they even have some really clear examples built in.
Yeah.
One that I noticed was calculating the properties of a copper waveguide WR90 at 10 gigahertz.
Mhm.
Now,
Well,
waveguides,
they sound very sci-fi.
they do sound sci-fi.
But essentially, think of them like pipes
Okay.
for high-frequency signals. Because, you get to these frequencies, normal wires just don't cut it.
Yeah, they can't handle it.
So you need these special waveguides to guide those electromagnetic waves.
And so these are used in radar systems, satellite communications.
All sorts of things.
Wow. And then there's another example here that shows how to calculate the width of a 50-ohm microstrip line on Rogers 4003 at 9 gigahertz. Now, I'll admit I'm not familiar with microstrip lines either.
So imagine you're trying to fit, all the circuitry for your smartphone
Onto that tiny chip.
onto that tiny chip. That's where microstrip lines come in. They're like miniature highways
Okay.
for signals. So you can pack all this functionality into a really tiny space.
So it's essentially just like a flat conductor
Right.
with a dielectric material.
Yeah, exactly.
So it really sounds like this app is like a Swiss Army knife
It is.
for anyone working in this field,
Yeah.
whether you're a student or a professional.
Yeah. It's a really impressive tool.
It is, and it makes you really appreciate the complexity
Right.
that goes into the technology that we use every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just incredible.
It is. And it's exciting to think about, the next generation of engineers and scientists who will be using tools like this
Yeah.
to push the boundaries of what's possible.
So if you're interested in the world of high-frequency electronics,
Definitely check this out.
I think this app is an excellent place to start. So thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.